I know this specific year. I don't exactly know why. I don't think they know exactly why themselves. But this year, like the ratings for the Olympics have been like historically low.
Yeah,
like,
so it's a 33-year low. I was reading about it.
Oh no way!
51%
I feel like people have too
lower
many
than
pandemic
other
problems.
years.
Yeah,
They don't
Insane.
care about it.
It could be that it's a year late too, or with
Well,
that
that's true.
that would have built up more.
but I would.
I feel like
I don't know.
It flew under the radar this year. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Like I didn't remember
That's
it
the thing.
starting.
Like I remember sorry I interrupted, but I remember like last Olympics, I used to sit with my whole family, or we'd watch like the diving, we'd watch all these different things. But this year, I don't know what it is. There just doesn't seem to, even though there's a lot of significant events that are going on, but it just doesn't seem to be as hype as some of the past ones, and I don't know why.
But George, thing is, they don't even have. There's no audience. You imagine?
I think that's part of it.
Oh, that is.
You're yeah, because they banned like 2 weeks before because of the COVID cases were going.
Because whenever like people travel, you always know that one person is going to travel there. So it's like more personal to you, I guess. Like I've never traveled,
and especially when you I think see the fans, even as an athlete,
it hypes you
you
up.
get so hyped up. But now you're just like, it's all like, think of it. It's the coach and that random like guy who gets the ball.
Just those two.
Yeah,
It's just them.
You know what I mean? It's just the staff.
That one guy
who catches the ball. But like it's like you said, it's not as hype. I think there's a lot of things that come to it.
I think COVID is probably the biggest thing. Like you said, there's no fan. It's like it's not the same, but like it's not like they could have postponed it to next year, because next year there's the Winter Olympics. So like it's such a tough situation. But I think
next year.
Wait, did they postpone that one or no?
I don't think so.
Not as of yet.
So like imagine if they postpone this next year, then there'd be Summer and Winter Olympics at the same. I don't think you could.
They were gonna call it 2021, but because they made the medals and they spend like millions, man, on a logo, like they just couldn't.
You know how much they spent on the Olympics this year, Japan? $25 billion.
That's $25 billion.
I mean, $25 billion.
It was 16 or 18 billion, I think, in Beijing, which was 2008. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's a lot of money, dude."
But in 2008, that amount of money, is that because does inflation affect it that much? Do you think because of COVID, a lot of things are way more expensive now?
Yeah, and not just that, they took a different approach this year. They went for like a greener approach.
Oh, that's true. Did you hear about the beds? They're made of compressed
the
cardboard.
anti-sex beds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the
they
rumors started.
More
does that even mean?
So they can't support more than like one person's body.
So what happens if two people's body get on it?
They break.
Yeah,
that's so it was for COVID as well.
Yeah,
it was to limit, because a lot of times
the Olympic Village,
a lot of sex goes on.
Well, I mean,
but it wasn't even anti-sex. Like apparently, like
no,
and like there was a video of this guy, like, because the way it is, it's like there's the mattress and it's on cardboard, so it's not like an actual
bed. Is it comfortable?
I
Apparently
think
it is.
There was one, I saw this guy on TikTok. He's an Olympic athlete, and he posted on TikTok. He was just jumping in the bed as if it was normal. The thing is, apparently they used cardboard not for an anti-sex, but it's for like a more sustainable thing, because at the end of one, it's very easy to set up because it's just cardboard, and then at the end of the Olympics, they're going to recycle all the material. So that's why.
That's actually sick.
This is so needed though, because if you look at all of these, man, it was a documentary. I was watching this, and it was showing how if you look at Olympics that are, it's been more than 20 years since
the venues and stuff.
Dude, the venues,
it's a ghost town.
More than 80% of the venues don't even get used, and it's literally showing how it's like there's raccoons in it. I think there's I think it was the Greece one, actually, the one that was in Athens. I don't know. I think it was 2002. It was literally showing that more than half of the things, it's like a ghost town.
Yeah,
they're not even using, and you can only imagine billions of dollars is only spent to make a facility that's only going to be used.
That's actually
for
Does it have anything to do with Greece going bankrupt?
No.
I don't think so, because
they were economically had horrible issues. But
I know the one in Russia.
Yeah, the Sochi
deserted.
Yeah,
the one that too. Yeah, that's another one.
I wonder what Vancouver did with theirs.
Well, there's some of them who turn it over, right? Because the Montreal, for instance,
that's true.
But like Montreal got rid of a lot of them. They only kept like the main one. If you look at it, like even around, like they kept the main stadium, but they got rid of the other ones, or they turned them into other facilities, or they just rented them out. But it's just still when it was just showing how it's saying, just Olympics by itself, the amount of waste and money, money that went to waste is an extortion, insane amount. Just because what are you gonna do with it, dude? Think of it, you're a country that probably doesn't even do golfing. I'm just thinking of it. I don't know. Think of a country that doesn't do golfing.
All these different sports that you're bringing into the place. It's like,
do they golf in Dubai? I'm just curious.
Oh, it was so random. I don't know why.
No, the reason is like, for instance, let's say they make facilities for golfing in Dubai. after the Olympics is done, what are they gonna do with
bro,
it?
they have indoor skiing.
Yeah, they had that.
Don't worry.
Maybe that's not a good example.
It's not a good example, but I think you get what I mean.
I know what you mean. Like if it's in
Yeah.
the desert and you have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you know that's weird. The other day, someone told me that golf, like they were saying, because they play golf and they were like saying, "Oh, golf is what saved this Olympics. It brought in so many people."
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. Like I haven't done enough
Golf got added this year. I mean,
Oh,
golf
was
and
it
there
this year?
Yeah,
Skateboarding.
I know skateboarding was one.
But like, did golf really bring in? I mean, if there aren't,
I did
that
not
many
even know
people
golf
watching-
was an Olympic sport.
I didn't
Yeah,
know, I didn't know
it
anyone was
was
That
watching.
guy's capping.
No,
That
I
guy's
think it's
capping
just because
big
like
time.
there was 4 sports that were added this one. I know golfing was one. You're saying skateboarding,
Skateboarding.
karate, dude. Everybody thinks karate.
It's,
Karate
not,
got
it's not
added.
an Olympic sport.
No, karate got
Taekwondo
added.
is an Olympic
Yeah,
sport.
well,
It
the
just
thing
got
is,
added?
so some sports they add them and then they get rid of them. So like
Oh,
they add
no,
them for
like
like 3
so
years
stated.
and then they get rid of them.
So- No
like
way.
baseball this year was added because Japan has a huge fan base for
yeah.
baseball.
Yeah.
So it's here,
What-
but it's never going to be in 2024.
Yeah, so what happens
Oh,
is you get to
interesting.
pick a couple events, like the country that's hosting gets to pick a couple events that they would like to have there.
Do they pick all events
So
or like are there
every
some that are
Olympics, there's
like
a
stuck
couple
that
there
they
that's
choose a
generally not
threshold?
there.
Of things that you can pick because you're
No
the
way.
host country. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely want the like. I don't think they can come tomorrow and be like, "Hey, yo, we're getting rid of like basketball."
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you can't get rid of the main established ones,
Yeah.
but
Like, can
I
you
think
in
the little
theory, or is it just like, no, these are like mandatory, then you can choose like from a pool of other ones or something like that?
I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I think we have to look at it, but I feel like it would
get rid
just,
of like
there's
swimming.
no
or
country
something.
would
It's
come
like,
out of the way and be like, I want to get rid of the most popular one.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, dude, these countries are making so.
Oh.
Think of how much money they're getting out of tourism. It's all politics.
But you think
I mean, Tokyo did
Probably
well.
not this
Tokyo's
one,
not
yeah.
making anything.
Tokyo got effed.
They're getting
We
clout.
know about
They
them.
got screwed.
Like
so
because of
hard.
COVID,
Yeah, it's like
they just got unlucky.
man.
Yeah.
It's just I bet you they spent. I mean, I don't.
You
I
said
don't
25 billion
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
they-
you already
yeah.
said they spend so much money and they get almost nothing in
back.
return.
out of it.
Like, and the viewership is low. No one's there.
That's
Just
so
watching
true.
it.
Like
Just
they're losing on like
advertisements.
all fronts,
Bro,
man.
no wonder they had to get cardboard for their beds.
Yeah.
They probably
what do
went
we
into
do
the
this
dump.
Saturday?
They're
They
like,
use some
"What can we
excuse.
use
They're
it
like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is actually better for the planet.
I can only imagine what they were thinking last year because they were going to cancel it fully, right?
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
gonna
yes.
cancel it
And they
fully.
already had the facility built,
Everything was built because they start building 4 or 5 years minimum
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah.
Like 2016 when the Olympics happened, like you know they're building for the next one, which was
Oh,
like
yeah.
this
I
one.
mean, it would
Probably
take
takes so much to
Oh,
like
it
get
takes so much.
everything ready.
So much.
Man, Rio. You guys remember the Brazil was the last one?
Yeah.
How much? Like there was so much what's it called, protests that was going on because the people are like, we're poor, we're
Yeah.
starving, literally, and you
They're
guys are
spending all
going and
this money
spending
on- yeah.
billions of dollars on facility that
It is
what
such
are they gonna
a
do about
messed
it?
up
I don't
situation.
I don't understand why countries want to be like. I know they make
Hosts?
money, but like,
Yeah,
how much
true.
money can you make really? If you're already poor, it's not like gambling at that point.
Well, I think this one nobody was ever gonna estimate, dude. COVID
Yeah.
was gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you look at the revenues, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Because think of it, not only are you're getting the flights, think of it when they're coming in, the tourism by itself, people have to come there, they
Yeah.
have to get hotels.
Like the whole
They have
economy is
the
just gonna
food, they
like.
have
how
to
much
get
a ticket is.
exactly.
Tickets
It's
are like thousands
insane.
Yeah.
of dollars.
Oh, I mean to Japan, yeah.
And then the Olympic Committee also gives you like a cut out of everything.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you, they make way more back than what they actually spend.
But like actual Olympic tickets are thousands of dollars. Like for
Oh, that's
seats.
Really?
You know,
Yes.
I actually
Whoa,
forgot about
whoa.
the tickets to
Yeah.
the Olympics.
Yeah, I know.
And also-
that's why I was like tickets,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, of course, Japan. I was like, no, you're not getting.
Yeah, I thought
tickets.
like flight
like the
tickets.
actual tickets sitting there.
How did that not click in my head?
They're
You're
just
so
going there for
COVID
free.
brained at this point.
You know, just walking, just like, oh, yeah.
can I watch this guy?
I'll
pull
be the
that-
guy that gets the ball.
You just like walk into the stadium, just like
Yeah.
no ticket, you just
Oh,
watch.
this is great.
Yeah, it's just. But I also think that the Olympic Committee, the international one, they pitch in. So like, I don't think just like
Yeah.
Japan
Yeah.
doesn't spend the full 25 billion. I guarantee you, dude, they probably got like 5-6 billion of it, at least from like the international committee, because the committee literally gives them a little bit of money to do the hosting as well. Because
Yeah,
a lot
makes
of countries just don't have that much money just like laying around.
Mhm.
Like, let's just start building.
Well, yeah, that's
Billions, my
That's
guy.
like I know Brazil, like they probably do have that kind of money. They
Yeah.
just don't give it to the public.
Yeah.
But like other countries, but I mean, there are a lot of criteria picking a place
Yeah, how do they choose
because
locations?
I don't know, but I'm surprised they even picked Brazil in the first place with all
Yeah.
the police brutality that
I
was
think
going
it
on.
was
with
the
all
only
protests.
country I was reading for Brazil. So 2016 was the first time ever that South America hosted the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, South America hosted the. So the whole point of the Olympics, I think, for the posting is like they try every single series it to be a different continent. So if you guys look at it,
Okay.
once it's in Asia, then it's in Europe, then it's in North America. Like that's if you
They
look at
cycle
it,
through.
usually it's at least 2-3 Olympics before it comes back to the same continent. But it was the first time where a country was, you have to meet a certain type of criteria, I think, to be able to host. And like I said, like Brazil was one of the only places in South America that met that, and so they just started hosting it.
Yeah. Wasn't Qatar supposed to?
They're doing the World Cup.
They're doing the World Cup,
World
the
Cup,
FIFA
that's
one.
what it was.
Yeah,
on
and there's a
soccer
lot of
one.
controversy on that
Yeah.
one.
Really?
Yeah, because apparently so many, because they get all these migrant workers from like Pakistan and
India thing,
Bangladesh,
yeah.
and there's been so many like reported deaths, and it's because they make them work these terrible hours in 50 degrees Celsius temperature, and
That's true.
And
It's
the
so
thing is,
hot
And
there.
they don't pay
There's-
them probably.
yeah, they don't
Yeah.
pay, and there's a lot of reports that they take their passports, so they can't
Oh, I
even
heard
leave.
about this. I heard
So
about
it's
this.
literally
ridiculous.
it's
What?
almost like modern day slavery. Like they take their passports because it's called the kafala system, I believe that's what it's called. So like you're sponsoring them, but like so they take their passports, so they go there, they're not paid their wages, and it's like, okay, I want to leave, but they can't leave because they don't have their passports, and they're stuck living in these terrible places. It's ridiculous. Like
It is ridiculous.
thousands of them have died, and it's like
Well,
we're not even anywhere near. We're getting close, but it's like there's still so many and thousands have died. It's ridiculous. I was reading, I saw this chart
that's
comparing.
insane. Thousands when you think
Thousands.
of it, like what are
Yeah.
they even
It's
going
it's-
through if it's that high?
Like, I've seen these documentaries and stuff about like where they live. It's terrible. Like they have to pee in buckets, and they live in these really like it's just you think of Qatar, like this rich place. You see where these people live, you would just be shocked, and it's so sad because there's all this controversy. And I remember one person like from Qatar, he was saying it's like the number is like in line with something along these lines. He's like it's in line with our projections, and it's like. What? You're expecting some people to die?
Wait,
It's like, how does that?
projections?
No way.
It's like, how
That-
did
it
you
literally-
predict
look
part
it
of
that?
up.
the-
Yeah, it's
You're
like
like,
it's like
alright.
in a way he's saying it's like it's
I
expected.
didn't know
It's
I
like,
was
what?
reading, but I didn't know it
5,000
was
people
that
died.
intense that they're.
It's
that,
it's
how
so
many
bad.
people are dying.
Like I saw like they compared the number of deaths for that happened for the Qatar World Cup compared to other events like the Rio and other one. It's so much more. It is ridiculous
And
because think of it, they're literally working in 50 degrees Celsius heat. They
Yeah.
get no breaks. They can't even like. They don't even have a home to go to. Like they go to these really poor places where probably 10 people live in a small room.
And
That
you'd
is
only
true.
imagine
Yeah.
now too with the facilities because there's so much more tech involved. And
Yeah.
for like before, I think of it 200 years ago, they probably had like one arena. They do 50 different sports in it.
Build
Yeah.
the Coliseum, make sure
Yeah.
there's blood drainage.
But now
for
they-
the gladiators.
Now like so much they have to build
Yeah,
and
that's the thing.
stadiums that are like,
Like-
what hundreds
Yeah,
of thousands of people.
I saw there's like I think they're building 5-6 stadiums, something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
It's
god.
insane. And if you look at these stadiums, they look. I mean, the stadiums, at least based on the artist's like concept of what they want to make, looks insane. But then it's just you read these stories and it's like, man, it's just
And
terrible.
you think Qatar's
Yeah.
ever going to use it after the World
That's
Cup?
the-
They
I
have
mean,
like
never.
what?
like soccer's big
teams?
there, but I don't think it's that big, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. As soon as this thing's done, it's
They're not going to have
That's
it.
insane.
They might.
so
I
sad.
mean,
Maybe they
those
rent it out,
countries
maybe.
sponsor a lot of soccer teams, so they might use it for training or something.
That could also happen.
Oh,
yeah, like the
that's
big
true.
teams of
They
Europe, if they
sponsor a
come over.
lot of teams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come over and they.
Man, but like Olympics, like World Cup committees, there's always so much corruption with those.
oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
like even around this new like the Tokyo Olympics
Mhm.
2020, even though it's 2021.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of controversy. They were like there's suspicions from the French people in the committee. By the way, fun fact: apparently the IOC, the International Olympics Committee, is prominently French.
Oh really?
I don't know why.
French.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's been that way for a long time. Like French,
Mm.
I don't know why. It just
I mean, they conquered half the world. It makes sense if they have this too. It's either British or French.
I
That's
thought
what you'd assume.
I knew they'd be European. I didn't, but why only French? I don't know.
It's probably like the money of the committee that
Probably.
started put it in.
Could be.
I would not be like, despite how they say that this is so international, I feel like
It's
so
very
many.
not.
We have private corporations. There's a
Yeah.
bunch
So
of them
much
who
going
just
on in
came
the
in,
back.
put so much money into it, and now they just kind of hold it with their key because it's too political now. It's too political. So many areas of it.
But yeah, so the Japan bid team back in 2015, 2016, when they were deciding for the 2020s,
Mhm.
apparently the lead gave $8.2 million to a Japanese businessman. I think his last name was Takahashi something. And what he did with those 8.2, he labeled as lobbying IOC votes. So the members, so IOC members, but they don't know how he used it. And 8.2 million just to like get votes. It's insane without bribing. And
Yeah.
like on paper, like
2 billion.
no,
No, million.
million.
I'm just like, what?
No, relax. It gets a whole country's like capita, just puts it into bribing. It's not even worth it at that point.
just like I just
Insane.
read that. He said billion. I'm like, what?
But I was wondering, like, why would Japan even need to bribe? Like, it's such an ideal place to go to.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there is no protest
Because
there's so much money
it's-
going through. There's like its tourism is insane. Anyone
Yeah.
would go anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
why do you even need to bribe?
And yet they got effed because of COVID. I feel so bad.
I mean,
All the effort
Yeah.
gone down the
At the end, but because here's the thing: what do you think? If they're not making a lot of money, would they ever come and bribe? They would never bribe, dude, if they
Yeah,
weren't
that
making
makes
that
sense.
much money. And of course, which country do you guys think hosted the most Olympics? Give a
Probably
wild guess. I'm pretty sure
France.
you'll know. No, it's not France.
U.S.
The U.S.
US.
There we
Oh,
go.
that was my
It's
second
almost
one.
like with LA, which the one 2028, they'll be at 5 times hosting it.
But I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
U.S. OP.
Yeah.
They can keep
Yeah.
bribing
Yeah.
as much as
That's
they
just
want.
other-
Wait, oh yeah, because the one at Salt Lake in the U.S.
Mhm.
There was also like weird rumors about bribing, where the bribes were not only money, like they were shopping sprees, like money, gifts. One of the bribes was they provided funding for a surgery, for a knee surgery for one of the members' mother-in-law. Like that's so
That's
weird.
so confusing.
Imagine you go up to a guy, he's like, "Hey, I need you to vote for the U.S." He's like,
Yeah.
"Why would I?" It's like, "Oh, we could give you money." No, but he's like, "Wait, what about your mother-in-law's knee?" He's like, "What did you just say?"
They've done the research.
Sarah hasn't walked right since 2013. He's like, "What? How did you know?" It's like, how did they
They
know?
did their research, dude, for blackmail.
Like, who is this? Who was the businessman that they sent?
Yeah.
And that's the conclusion
undercover.
yeah, like
Yeah.
how did you come to this deal?
What's it? It's well, I was reading. I think it was back in. This has been going on for a very long time. I think it's like after 2006, they have a kind of what's it called? A model where they're saying because of all the waste and all this corruption that's going on, they're thinking of the Olympic Committee and majority of the countries who have a vote to come and buy an island, and they call it like
Really?
the Olympic Island. So everybody's been pushing for
Oh.
that, but
That's
it
a good
can't
idea.
get. It's not.
That's
It's
smart.
cool.
That's
the
smart.
idea hasn't. It's been what? It's been more than. It's almost 2 decades now
Yeah.
that this idea has been out there, and they're saying, okay, instead of like what you're saying, the whole bribery and all this going on, and on top of that, freaking every 4 years going into country making so many facilities, just go buy an island
Yeah.
and make it there, and every year coming and like making those facilities better, and like put a lot of money into that one specific
Why
island.
would you want that as a country? Because as a country where you think you can
Well, they're
host
saying
it?
international waters. That's the thing. It's like, because think of it, every country
No,
would
I
want
mean,
this.
He's,
though.
he's saying like the countries would probably want it to be
Yeah,
like
like
wanted
a
to host
country
it
like
for
the
money.
US would never
Yeah.
back this up.
That's
Yeah.
that's it though.
Okay, that's your
It's-
point.
That's
Okay,
it. They're
yeah, I
not doing it though. That's why it's been under like just a model for
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah.
decades now.
See, that's like
because they're
an
like
idealist.
Yeah, like to
Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
us, that's probably like great.
because
idea.
everybody's like, this is the best thing. Because dude, just go buy literally an island, and then everybody can go there. Because so much, dude, would be saved when
Yeah.
you think about it. Because you keep reusing it. Let's say everything's life cycle would be like what, 3 Olympics at least. You can at least use that's
Yeah.
3 times more than any of the other ones.
What do you mean lifestyle?
Like as in
Like,
like if it's on an
How long
island.
can we use? Yeah.
That hotel or whatever stadium that they make,
Bro,
they
you
probably
could use it forever.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like before they have to spend a
repair
lot to
it.
renovate it and repair it.
But that's nothing compared to the cost of like building a new one.
That's it. Yes,
Mhm.
but yeah,
That would be
And
so cool if
the
that
migrant
actually-
workers, no one will know if they die.
Yeah. It's an island.
What if a
Yeah.
different country just hosted it each time? So then, like, it would still all be in one place. You just have to pay for repairs, and you'd get the revenue from it.
oh, like that area, like some country comes in.
yeah. So like it's like clockwork. So like this year you get it, next time you get it, then you get
Like
it,
Japan,
then you get
like
it.
let's say Japan
Yeah,
has
it
the budget.
rotates
they-
through
yeah.
a bunch
But
of
if it-
system, like through
But
a system.
I think Kyle, that's like you're pausing too much corruption, and they don't like that. So
Yeah.
they're like,
the politicians
we're not
are like,
making
hold up,
as
hold
much
up.
money.
utopia like
yeah,
that.
we're not making as much money if it were to be in a country. So I hope, I think that would make the most sense. But I do see it happening though, guys. Think of it like in 10, 20 years. Do you think that would happen maybe?
I mean,
I think that
I
would be
see
so
the
cool.
world ending before it happens.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, actually, if because of all this, because there's so much controversy around the IOC, if that whole committee was to be brought down
Yeah.
and revamped, kind of like lame example, but remember you Ottawa Student Council?
Oh,
Yeah.
So
with
our
school.
university student council, like they were very, very corrupt. They just scrapped the whole council and like
Rebuilt the whole thing.
elected. No, not even rebuilt. Like elected a whole new club.
Yeah.
Like it has different name,
Oh.
different.
Yeah.
So if they did that, but on like an international scale with the IOC, it would have like a different name, even everything.
I think like that's very because like
But who would do that?
comparing the scale of it, it took like think of it in our university, it took so much effort for them to find this scoundrel
Mhm.
and like this kind of scheme of what's going on. Now think of that
On the Olympic, the
Olympics,
world
dude.
stage.
the
yeah.
world level of the most elite level of sport. You're trying to bring down the whole organization and redo it under another name.
You know,
There's
it's
no
one way to get all the countries together.
But I feel like
I mean,
there's
they
way
are
too much
kind of together.
corruption.
That's what their motto is.
Yeah,
Like, they're
together.
together. We're together.
I think that would be so cool if they had everything in an island. Like
Yeah.
you could,
Yeah.
even when there's no Olympics, you could probably make so much from tourism. People would probably want to go and
That's what I'm saying.
visit these stadiums. You could probably have,
See,
friendly
I
games
feel like
and stuff.
more
You could
people
have,
might even
Yeah.
go.
You guys think they could have museums, right?
100
You can have
museums.
Not even museums. You
people
can
can
have
there.
literally, it's a whole own country called
Yeah.
Olympic Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the main issue with that was literally who's hosting it and what caused.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't come to an agreement of who owns that
Who's taking
island
care of it?
Who
and
owns the
who's going to
island?
take
Yeah,
care of it.
I can see
because
why that
every
would-
single country wants it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I want a piece of this pie.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
You can't get more
Oh,
fair
then
than
how
this.
about everyone gets like a percentage of it? That way,
Oh.
everyone's making money.
Bro, nobody's making enough money for it
That's
to be
too
worth
fair,
it. then.
Kyle.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
I
It's
don't
like-
know. I feel like
What are you talking about?
you would, man.
It's too fair. That's what
I feel like you would. Like
Uh,
when seats are selling for like thousands and shit, like you can't tell me you're not making.
What are you trying to
money.
make this about sportsmanship?
Kyle, think
Come
of it
on,
this
get out
way.
of here, man.
Yeah, I
Oh
can
my
make
God.
I
I'm
can
sorry.
make 900 out of that 1,000. Why make only 90?
Yeah. Why should I take
No, I'll
chump
screw over
change,
every
man?
other country and the committee to make like 1 more billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at this, God, it's so long. Like they've grabbed such because like Olympics has been around. Like modern Olympics only started 1896. I
Yeah.
think that's what we were just looking.
Was it a Winter
1896.
Olympics? Because the
No.
first summer was 1908.
Sorry,
First
Are you
summer
sure?
one I think was
no,
1908.
the first summer one was 1896. It
Yeah.
was 19. I think that's exactly when the winter. one was
That's the
first
winter one.
No,
Yes.
no, I think it was the summer.
We were looking.
Because I think because it was in Greece the first one. I don't.
Yeah,
So
it says
I-
it-
yeah.
First modern Olympics was 1896,
Yeah.
and then women's was allowed in the 1900s. Afterwards, and then right after that, I think it was 1906, which is the first winter.
Yeah,
one.
that would make because I
But
know
this
that
is modern
yeah.
Olympics, by the way. Like the original Olympics.
1908 was summer, not
No, no, no.
06. 06 was probably winter because you go every 2 years.
but I know the first one was 1896. So it's, I would, and if it's in Greece, I would assume it's probably like a. Well, I mean, I think it was just Olympics back then, but I
Yeah.
would assume
'Cause
most
back
of the
then, it
events
spins
were
for
because
so
Greece
long.
is super hot. I would assume it's.
Maybe
what's
they
it?
just had one Olympics.
Maybe.
I think they did back then. Eventually they expanded it.
Yeah.
It's because like Olympics has been around like so what 800
Yeah, the
BC,
yeah.
and it was always at the same
Yeah.
thing. Because I know figure skating, for instance, was in the summer. For
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
to the mid
Yes.
19 something. It was literally it was part of it, and then they're like, oh, okay, now we gotta change it up and have one every 2 years. This makes more sense.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder how the list of events or sports involved in the first Olympics to this Olympics compare.
It probably had
so
like,
many.
Yeah.
Think of it, it was
Yeah.
probably like track and field.
I
think
think
that's
like
the
running.
OG.
Yeah.
That's
Discus,
the
like,
javelin.
Probably
that's all
shot
those.
put.
Yeah.
marathons or
Yeah.
decathlons, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Marathon, decathlon. That's all of those were the OG ones, and now you have
Like chariot racing.
chariot,
Who
now
knows?
you have pigeon shooting.
Yeah.
Yo,
What?
Yeah, I
What?
read something live pigeon
oh,
shooting.
no,
That wasn't
live
actual.
pigeon shoot-
There's speed walking.
yes,
No.
But I think that's still a thing.
speedwalking is still a
there is
thing.
speed- yeah.
Pigeon shooting was shut down.
Yeah, there's no
no,
way.
like-
no way in this day and age.
Wait.
Like you're shooting actual birds on TV. It's like,
I thought,
no
I
way.
thought you meant it was in the Tokyo one.
No,
I was
no,
like,
No, yeah, that's what I thought too. I was
not
like,
live
wait.
pigeon. No. That was a thing. They moved
Well,
it.
can
No
we
way.
go back
no,
to
go
speed walking? What's the sport? I can do this.
Yo,
Am
it's
I-
speed walking.
But
Dude,
how
you-
long do they go for? Because like
There's
Do-
20 kilometers men, 20
Yeah.
kilometers women, and then there's 150 kilometers men.
boys,
Yeah.
50 kilometers.
Yeah.
I
50
think
kilometers.
I think we found our
Bro, you
sport.
should see these people. Their hips
Oh,
Because
it's shaking like no tomorrow. It's hilarious.
yeah, when you watch them, it's just I don't know. I feel bad, but it's hilarious. It's,
Dude, have
way
you
their
guys seen
bodies
how
move.
intense? I was I was talking to my dad. I remember we were watching the speed ones. My dad was like, I feel bad for whoever is like the ref for this, because you have three. If you get three like yellow cards, I don't know what it is, warnings.
What,
you're-
you walk too
So
fast?
exactly.
No, because it turns into a jog.
If
It's
you
like
start
borderline jogging.
Yeah, if you jog and you get so you're allowed in 20 and 50 3 warnings. At the 4th warning, you're disqualified. So my dad was like, "How do you like?" Because have you ever seen them? How they go? They move their hips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like exactly what Kyle's saying. It's borderline jogging.
Yeah.
But it's not really jogging. But they're going as if they're like it's not really walking.
Yeah, like there's rules.
No.
Like I think there has to be at least 1 foot on the ground at like every moment. So you can't like.
So you can't launch.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
there's no
That's
launch.
why it's. And I watched actually a TikTok today, or was it yesterday, where some guy walked a bit too fast and a guy just put like a yellow sticker in front of his face.
Yep.
Like, as if it's
Yep.
like it was one like you're running and just yellow card you on the minute, just like
Slow
in
it
his
down
face,
there,
just like
Buster.
this. I thought that was the funniest
so
thing.
intense for what it is. It's like,
I know.
Yep.
This is the first warning. You got 2 left.
You're too fast.
But yeah, if you get 3, you're just disqualified. It's just the funniest thing, dude. Watching speed walking, because like
Hilarious.
it's too funny.
is it the funniest? I feel like I'd be
No.
so bored.
No, it's
No.
you just laugh at the people walking.
How
Yeah,
they
just
walk.
the
you
way their
feel
bodies
bad, but like the
move
way
and
they're
it's-
walking is insane. It's with such intensity, and you're just like, dude, it's just speed walking. Like,
Yeah.
relax.
I feel
their
like if I
hips
tried that-
must hurt
They-
because their
Oh, yeah.
hips
They're-
are moving way too much.
Yeah.
like
Like their hips are going like this,
Yeah.
yeah.
side to side, side to side.
You know, I bet you have to train that because like my
Oh,
hip is
yeah.
so locked. Like I can't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
for
you got to be
20K.
loose.
It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, I know, it must require
This is
some
probably how
practice,
yeah.
has been training for 6 years to get that
how do
ideal
you
walk.
practice that?
How do you
Just walk.
decide that that's
Walk.
what you want to do in the Olympics?
How do you know it's something you're good at?
Like, one day you're
you-
walking,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
you
I'm
and your
so
friends
good
are
at this.
walking. You're like
You're way ahead of everyone.
of them, and you're
Hurry
just
up,
like,
guys.
guys, why are you so
Oh, maybe I
slow?
should do this for a living. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, you know how I know a fast walker. You know Madi?
Yeah.
He's an insanely fast walker. When he walks, it's like he's levitating but hopping at the same time.
Maybe he's born. Show him to the speed walking.
2028 in LA.
He's
We're
gonna
gonna
do
we're
this.
gonna see him on the
You're
team.
gonna train from now.
Canadian team.
Yeah, no, it's just it was one of the speed walking. Like, there's so many sports that they have, but like speed walking has
Yeah.
made it so far, so there's been a fan base for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's so many
Oh.
things that they're like,
I
it just doesn't
drank
make
out of
it.
your Monster.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Priorities,
Okay.
man.
I'm gonna put this here.
that it doesn't
maybe
make
not.
it. Yeah.
Here.
But pigeon shooting, dude, was still funny.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it.
That's
Like,
just-
what is this?
I saw that. I'm like that's so cruel. They're like, it's like, and it's not like the disc shooting. It's like there's actual
Yeah.
pigeons, and it's like,
Can
wow.
the pigeons get away?
I don't know.
I
Imagine.
mean, I don't know. I haven't watched it. It was. I think it was 19. I think it was 1900s. Yeah, the pigeon thing was once
flies
in the
away.
1900s.
Imagine
Like-
you release
And
it
then
from
they
the
stop.
cage. You're like,
Yeah.
Another one was like tug of war.
No way.
Tug of
Actually,
war was there for 2 Olympics.
That's a proper Olympic sport. I'd
Yeah.
watch that.
that'd be so
100%.
much.
Yeah.
It would,
It's
yeah,
so
that
much
would be
fun.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
so
It would
much
try
fun.
to
but
be-
wouldn't you just get like the biggest boy you could find to stick at the end
But
as an
then
anchor?
how-
Sumo wrestler, dude.
Yeah,
Just
right?
sit on it.
Like a thick laddie.
No, but there's
There has to be some
techniques
tactics.
There's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
techniques.
there is, but like a lot of it, like for not a lot of it, but you generally put the
thickest
heaviest
man.
boy you
But
could
no-
find on the back as an anchor.
Yeah.
Probably
Think
the
about
way
it. They're probably gonna put rules as to how lean back you can be. That maybe you have to
Okay.
be on your feet because otherwise you can just sit.
That's true.
Yeah.
and then
Like,
you could
there
be
has to-
it has to be in like sand.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh,
always
yeah,
the same.
because-
it would
make sense.
Is it
Man,
always
you'd
in
rip,
sand?
you'd rip.
And I think you couldn't also like probably you can't wrap like the
Yeah,
rope
like-
around your arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
always.
Like,
I
I
don't think
just-
anyone should.
I don't
They'd
think
probably
you
break
could
your-
anyways. Yeah, because with
they're
the pole,
thick ropes.
yeah,
Yeah.
They probably had a committee for
you're
it.
gonna like
A
flip
bunch
around
of people
or
who's
it's gonna
sitting
just
around be
Yeah.
like, these are the rules that we're gonna pass
Yeah.
you for tug of war.
Dude, tug of war is one of those like simple activities that
That's so much fun.
every guy loves.
Yeah.
Like you know, just random things that they require no thinking. Just like, ugh.
And it's like you're just pulling a rope. You're
Like,
literally just pulling a
I
rope, but
think
it's
you
so
need-
much fun.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
such primal
But you need
reward
some-
when you
Yeah, I
win.
know.
I think you need a lot of grip strength.
Like I
Yes.
feel
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
stuff like back when people were cavemen, they were like arguing over like a stick, like oh,
It's like, holy shit,
and
this
it's
is so
somehow
much
made
fun.
into like here people pulling a rope. It's like such like you said, it's such a primal thing. It's just
Yeah, like I
so
would
simple,
love
but
watching
so
that
much fun.
and, like I would love to participate in that.
Oh, the
Yeah.
tug of war.
It'd be
Tug
fun.
war, 100%. Any day, at any moment of my life, someone comes up to me with a rope, I'll do it.
yeah.
I think I just like at the point where the team, the other one loses and they just face first into the sand.
They're just
Like,
getting
either
dragged.
And you just look at them like, yes, yes, I win.
But like no, it's insane. I think Olympics is evolved in so many things. Some of the sports when you look at it, it's like what you were saying. It's like, how do one day you just wake up and you're like, this is what I'm really going to be good at and what I can do, or something's how you can practice. Like to me, I was watching the other day, it was jumping. Dude, they were jumping.
Oh, like the long
Long
jump?
Yeah, no, not with a
in-
pole. It was the guy was just running and jumping.
Yeah.
Dude,
He
this-
jumped like the height was 9 meters, dude.
Wait, height or like
No,
length.
Length.
I think I saw that.
Like-
9
distance.
meters.
That's
like,
like I don't
Take a
even.
second and
insane.
comprehend that. That is like 4 dudes laying on the
Yeah.
floor and you're jumping
Yeah,
across
I know.
4 dudes.
I did 3.8 in high school.
Not
Meters?
bad.
Not bad.
Put that into perspective though.
Kyle, if you just get another 10 years, you would have
I need another
That's like
5.
2.5 of one of us. That's not bad, you know?
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
I don't know how. I'm kind of curious.
Do you know
now.
how insane that is though?
Nine
like,
meters?
9
I think it's the video that I
meters.
think it was like a recent thing.
Can you well, the guy recently, I think it was like 8 point. Okay, it's not. It's like 8.5. That was what it was
That's still
close to.
insane.
That was
Only
ridiculous.
8.5. Oh, pathetic.
But can you have a running
Yeah,
crash?
at least if I the video that I saw, like the guy ran and he just jumped.
Yeah.
But like the guy was literally just in the air for I don't even know how long.
It's because they literally float and then all of a sudden land.
Yeah, because they're like as they go in the air, they
Yeah.
don't just stop. They're
No.
still
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
They're still
in the
running.
air.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as he's in the air, he's still like
Yeah.
He's air running.
It's insane. That's,
But
yeah, you would
I
think
have
it
no
doesn't,
idea.
but that's exactly how it is.
No idea.
And then
It's
towards the
technique,
very
though.
end, they bring their leg up and they land with their ass.
oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
sand.
yeah, yeah. To
Yeah.
land,
So they get
to
their
go, yeah.
Yeah.
maximum length possible because
Yeah,
like
because the legs are gonna land first because they're way lower.
Is it like the first part of your body that touches?
Yes.
I
So
think
the
that
furthest
makes
back.
sense. Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
is
the
the furthest
furthest
back.
back, yep.
So like if your hand falls backward or anything, that's
Okay.
why everyone tries to fall forward.
Mm.
Oh,
Because if you
Can
fall back,
face plant. Like, can you dive? Or
You'll
is that,
need-
that's not a
you
bad
could.
idea?
But think of it, if you face plant, your leg
Your legs
is
are-
way behind you,
Oh,
right?
that's
So
Yeah.
your face
you
is
always
gonna
want to
be
get your
here.
legs in front of you.
You're gonna
Yeah.
lose half a meter because your legs
And you're gonna shave
And a
off
broken
half
nose.
your
Yeah.
face.
And a broken. Yeah.
You're gonna-
Worth
you're
it.
gonna be eating
Your
broken
nose is like
nose.
that.
You're gonna
Like
be
missing a couple teeth.
Yeah.
You get up, you smile.
You're shitting sand for the next week, dude.
Yeah.
Because the amount of sand that's goes in.
It's gonna be a gritty shit.
Sandpaper shit.
But like that's like I was looking at it, and that's why I was just like, Olympics has, especially this year, the average age. Me and you were talking about this
Yeah.
is so low
It's
right now
so low.
compared to other
Oh, yeah,
years.
there was a 14-year-old swimmer.
In,
Well, that- yeah.
like ridiculous.
14,
I think they
yeah.
said
What?
there was
Is there no like minimum age?
there was a lot of 17,
Wow. I
16,
mean, if you're good, you're good.
15-year-olds
I guess,
guess.
that's what it
coming
is.
in this year
it's just
because it's a whole new
yeah.
generation now. A lot of people retired because of the extra year
Mhm.
or just
I guess
because
it's around the time.
yeah, it's around the time.
and it's also because it's so much. We've in terms of technology right now.
Yeah.
Training has just
Sports science
it's
is
hit that
insane.
active. It's like before you didn't have that equipment, right?
Yeah.
And it would take you 4 months to be like, okay, how do I train to do this?
Yeah.
Now you just put a sensor. It's like, oh, you want to train this muscle?
Yeah.
Like the computer system
Oh.
tells you how to do it. Every single sport is
And
so
they
much
also
more
thought
advanced.
like training from a younger age was
Yeah.
so bad for your body. Like it was
Mhm.
going to stunt your growth. It was going to do all these horrible things. But now they know better. They're like, okay, actually training is actually a good thing. So it's
Mm.
not going to stunt your growth. It's actually going to promote.
That's yeah, it's
Yeah.
just insane.
Can someone like us go into Olympic training now and like get somewhere?
Well, 100%. Think of it.
Asking
Maybe
for a friend.
Yeah.
The guy who
It
won
would really
air pistol
depend.
was like 43 years old.
No, who
And-
won what?
Air pistol, like 10-meter shooting for it was the air pistol. It's like there's so many categories, right? Like you don't have to go to intensive. Like
You
if
wouldn't-
you go to gymnastics right now,
You wouldn't be
you're
able to do
Yeah.
gymnastics.
Like
it's too late for
you
that.
can't
Yeah,
wait
You
till
have,
that.
you
some-
have to start gymnastics
Yeah.
from a really young
Oh,
age
okay.
because your ligaments, your tendons, everything have to be like
So,
properly
What about like
set.
golf, for instance, you could probably do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Golf.
there's so many
Do you mean the
categories.
sickest sport in all
Yeah.
Olympics?
Yeah,
for
what
this one?
saved
That's
the
actually
Olympics?
pigeon
The
shooting,
view
man.
driver?
Yes.
I might think I'm good at shooting pigeons.
Yeah,
Shoot-
good.
shoot
Played a
some-
lot of Call of Duty.
I was
Yeah,
about to
Counter
say
Strike.
that. You know what? We could pitch it.
But I'm saying I don't think it's that late. But you have to just be like, because there's some sports, if you like look at it, the average age is way higher than other sports. Because
Yeah.
like you don't need that much training. Like I think swimming and gymnastics are probably prime examples
That
of
was-
sports that you need
Yeah.
to be
They need a lot.
very young
Yeah.
and to start in
Well,
the many years.
swimming itself, you have to be like a certain like makeup. Like your body
right.
has
Yeah.
to be certainly
Physique.
a certain physique.
when you look
Otherwise,
at-
like you can't. You're not going to be good at swimming.
Like when you look at what's his name, that Olympic Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps.
This guy's
Well,
the
he-
real.
man.
Literally,
Yeah.
he's built for swimming.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You were telling me the thing for like he had a condition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like he's I don't remember exactly what it was.
I think it was his lung and his body shape.
Yeah.
His body shape.
His hands are way long. Like he has lengthy arms
Yes.
and
Yeah,
legs
short
compared to
legs,
the regular
right?
person.
I don't remember. But
I don't know,
but yeah.
just his arms and his legs, and he has also like a heart condition. Well, anyways, he is the one prime example that disease has built him for swimming, because his lung capacity and also his
It's
like just his broad reach with his hand, it's insanely higher than anybody else.
Yeah.
He's literally built
Yeah.
for swimming.
Aquaman.
Man, it would be nice if my body told me physically what I'm built for.
Like you're talented.
My body's
Yeah.
built for like eating McDonald's, man.
Ooh.
That's what it is. Should be an eating contest in Olympics. I would sign up for that.
Oh, that is true. That should
Oh,
be
really?
like a
Food
glizzy
eating contest?
Yeah, oh my god.
I mean, that could be a thing.
Man, honestly, at this point, like, you never know what's gonna happen. They're talking about adding things like video games, gaming to the
But
Olympics.
it's not really
To the-
Olympics, or is that
actually?
like?
I feel
Yeah.
like it has to be its own thing, though.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why
it has to stay in its own world of esports.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's why there hasn't really been like there's no really developments on that. But
Yeah.
they're talking about putting stuff like that,
Yeah.
and so it'd be interesting. Who
Because
knows
the
what
fan base
can
is so different, dude.
Oh,
I feel like the
100%.
people who are going there to watch swimming are very different than the
Well,
people
no,
who are going there for
watch
gaming.
like Counter Strike.
It would be very smart though, because like
Yeah.
you'd include a whole new
Oh,
crowd.
yeah.
Like air pistol. That's basically gaming in real life. Like you're just
Yeah.
shooting something. Like you're not. There's
Yeah.
no like. I know there's accuracy, but so in gaming you need like what do you call it? Like the
It's
eye
like
to
you're
hand
training-
coordination.
hand-eye
training like
coordination.
Hand-eye
different
coordination. Like gamers have very
like
very fast
reflexes and
reflexes.
stuff, yeah.
Like it's a skill.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably be like a different
Man, give it a few years, dude. Olympics is
Yeah.
gonna be in a VR world, dude.
100%.
Oh,
Imagine
yeah.
in a VR world.
I think you have
VR
like
pigeon shooting. We're going back, baby.
Full 360. We're all the way back.
Let's go.
This is all we wanted to evolve to come all the way back to just pigeon shooting in VR.
I just learned what pigeon shooting is, but I really want to without killing any pigeons.
Oh, God.
I love pigeons.
Mechanical pigeons.
Seagulls though. I'll kill
virtual
'em.
pigeon. Virtual
Yeah.
pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
The country's also like these people who win, they get so much money. I think it depends
Well,
on the country.
It depends on the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
this-
give them so much.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So like the States doesn't pay at all
Okay, but why?
because they get a bunch of sponsors. So like, it
There's
makes
so
sense.
much
But
sponsor.
like I read somewhere like China, if you win gold, you get like $3 million.
I think that was the Philippines. Or no,
Or the Philippines, maybe.
was. I think it was.
She got like houses and stuff.
Yeah, she got free airplane tickets for life from 2 different airlines in the Philippines. She got another for life thing. She got 3 million or 5 million. I
Yeah.
don't remember. And she got a house
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You're saying
because
but that's
because
so
she's the
nice.
first one.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
ever.
But that's because like a lot of people like when you sign up to like do the Olympics and devote your life to this,
Yeah.
you're making no money.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're
Like,
devoting your
this is
life.
to
Like,
your
it's not
craft,
just
and
like
you're paying so much money to training
yeah.
that like you're basically broke.
Yeah, like it's not like it's like you have a full-time job and on the
Yeah.
side you're
You can't have a
practicing
full-time
you
job.
can't
You can't
have to
work,
dedicate
period.
everything to this.
And I feel like the part that's not easily measurable is like also the mental part.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like it must
Yeah.
be so taxing
Mentally
on a
straining.
person. It's insane the amount of stress. You're literally even before you make it on a team, you have to place, and then when you
Yeah.
place on a team, you have to be good enough to be put into the Olympics. When you're in the Olympics, you have to not let a
Yeah.
whole nation down.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's
Well, you-
what was the girl? The
Yeah,
the
Simone
Biles?
Biles. Yeah,
She got so
Insane.
much crap.
yeah.
I feel like because like you were saying, it's like I also think at the same time people are a little bit unrealistic. This was another athlete, so he was 100% projected to get gold. He got silver. They destroyed him.
Who's he?
Like it was another
Where?
country, and he just they were so like upset at him. Like, how dare he not get gold? I'm like, dude. Like I get that he was supposed to get gold, but just still the fact that he got silver,
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure you who were sitting on your couch judging this guy,
Yeah.
You're
you're not
you're
even
you
not-
try.
like
Yeah,
I want you to
right,
try to
okay.
do one thing of what he like you can't. So like it's just so much like you're saying mental health. I think
Yeah.
especially with it, people don't realize that it's
Like
just
how
so
like
much
that
strain.
should be also like considered when compensating an Olympic
Yes.
athlete.
Yes.
100%, man. The stress is insane. I feel like I can't even comprehend it. I've never been in a position in my
Yeah.
life where I represent something like this
So
high
big.
of a stake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Literally, millions of people are watching you. Your whole, like you
Judging
said, the
you.
whole country's depending on you. And if you mess up, there's gonna not everyone, but so many people are going
I
to be
think
on you.
mentality,
It's just
dude.
ridiculous.
I think mentality is so evident and so key, and
Yeah.
like because my mom does philosophy, and we're talking about this one. She was
does what,
saying
sorry?
she's in philosophy, right?
Philosophy.
Philosophy and things like that, and she was saying this. She's like, this is the one Olympics that I so like it was so evident to me how psychological teams, like you need a team of psychologists with them, all pro teams, like from any sport you guys go from NBA to soccer to Olympics, they all have this. But the countries that are a little bit less developed, they don't have that. Like they're like, oh, you just need a coach. You don't need a psychological team behind you to actually like work on that mental health. Like that's why. So it's like it was so much more evident right now because I feel like right now the margins in sports is so close. Anything you guys look at, like for instance, 100 meters, the guy is like 9.91. The next guy is 9.90.
Yeah.
100th of a second.
Yeah.
Anything you guys look at, like it is, the margin is so, the slightest
no
error.
margin for error.
So it's like these people are all at their prime, and I think what really differentiates them is that mental like so like if when the guy kind of comes in, I don't know, like for me, I was watching weightlifting the other day.
Yep.
The guy came up and you could really tell like the way he came up, like because in weightlifting you have like 30 seconds to go from putting chalk on your hand to lifting the weight.
Well,
that
actually,
30
I didn't
seconds, and there's a timer that shows you like if you have to lift it in 30 seconds. Anyways, the guy who came, you can just tell there's so much confidence in his, he's like and then like he just the way he grabs it. There was another person who was coming and he kept looking at the time. And in my head, I'm like, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
There is absolutely, and in all 3 attempts, he couldn't lift it.
Yeah.
Because in every attempt, I'm like, if he looks at the time, I guarantee you
block,
he's
man.
not going to do it.
That's terrifying.
He wasn't able to do it all 3 times. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think like,
I didn't know they had a timer. That's
awesome
so you
sports.
have to hit the lift. Well, for Olympic weightlifting, you have to hit it within 30 seconds.
30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually not a bad time. Like that's a
But
good
think,
amount of time.
right?
Chalk
These
on
guys
your
are
hand,
putting hundreds of pounds. So if you don't even hit it on your first one, odds are you're not hitting your second or third
But is
because
it-
the amount of strength that is needed and power you're exerting your body and your central nervous system is just frying as it goes.
Oh yeah, you would know.
and you in like because you keep going up like for weightlifting, it's like you put a
because
weight.
you have to do three attempts.
Yeah.
You have your lightest attempt, then your heavier one, then your heavier one.
And then you don't go up because they said, let's say if you're supposed to hit 222, let's say you're gonna lift 222 kilograms. If you don't hit it, it's not the next person's turn. You're the next. You have to come. You only have 2 minutes in the back to rest. And you can only imagine, dude. This guy just tried to lift it. How much strain? He's exhausted, and he only has 2 minutes to rest before it's his second attempt.
And think like in like practice, like when you're probably in the gym doing it, you probably give yourself 20 minutes.
Yeah, before you go lift a car on your head.
Before you go relift it again. Like you're giving yourself so much time because you just want to be able to hit it. And once you're able to hit it, then you have the confidence.
I feel like you're right though, like especially like from countries that don't have the budget or because I feel like in a lot of countries mental health is not as prominent or
100%.
important as like first world countries. Like I'm just trying to imagine, I know there aren't a lot of like Arab teams on like in the Olympics, but like someone like from Jordan where I come, I don't think they have a team, but if they did, like
you guys got 1 gold. Sorry, 1 silver.
oh they do
In Taekwondo.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Taekwondo, you guys were killing it.
Well, let's go. But anyway,
Killing
I could bet everything that guy didn't have a psychologist. Like he
100%.
probably was like a psychologist. Like nobody cares about
It's
psychologists.
insane because it's just sheer will though for those people. Like the amount, like if you compare people from those countries, I feel like to like the teams, like for the American teams or the Chinese team, Russians, like these guys are like it's like an 18-wheeler full of staff for one dude to come and do like one thing, and then this guy probably has one guy like it's
uncle
insane.
does it.
His uncle,
His uncle,
It's like it's fine. I'll leave the shop for a day. I'll come with you. It's like, but you know, I feel like if you come from a country that's struggling, your mental fortitude was built already. Because you come from that country, you have so much more strive. You know how athletes, when they start, they have that strive for success. Do you think that also plays a role, kind of like as a substitute for mental training?
I 100% think
because I think even if the person, let's say in here, if he fails, he comes back just because he was in the Olympics, he's getting 5 sponsors. He's getting 5 sponsors.
100%.
This guy over there, he comes back home, he has to go like work in the superstore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, unless he had a legitimate job, like it's not like anybody's gonna come up to him and like sponsor him. Because there's no
talking about like the poor.
There's no such thing as sponsorship for him. But like you said, I do think it pushes him. I think it pushes him
100%.
because there's so much for him more at stake, and he really, I think, feels it more of that like representing of, because he's like, I like me making it here. I don't know. I feel like it was
like
way more hurdles.
The opportunity is
Yeah.
way more, like a lot more rare.
I feel
Yeah.
like you'd feel more special because especially when you do like when they do at the beginning and they do the ceremony, like there's so many people for certain countries like China, they bring in thousands of people. Or not thousands, but like hundreds of athletes. And you just see like a train of them going.
Yeah.
But then you'd probably only have like
Other countries like 5 or 10.
Yeah.
5 or 10 people. Some you even see just like 2.
Yeah.
Like you're so special.
Yeah.
I feel.
That's true because not every country participates in every sport,
No.
right?
Yeah. Some of it's just a couple sports.
Yeah.
Like because it's all individual qualify. Like each country, it really doesn't matter what country you're from. It just matters you whatever category you're in.
Yeah.
If you go to world competitions and you qualify for the Olympics, then they bring you. And then when you do the math, like China has such a huge population and such a huge amount of like athletes.
Yeah.
So even if 10% of that's going to make it through, there's still at like 400 athletes.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
have a
like,
huge pool to pick from.
huge pool to pick from.
I
But
feel
like,
like they shouldn't there be rules that like to how many athletes you can have, or is it?
because it's
all placing.
individual.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all individual
yeah.
placement. It's
It's all
not
placement.
your country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not based on.
That's true. I guess it's
'Cause
not
it doesn't
fair.
matter.
Like,
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
because like, oh, you have too many from your country. Like, what? I trained my
Yeah.
whole life to go swim, and that now he can't.
You
No,
can't
yeah.
go because there's too
That
many
makes
from
sense.
it.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Man, just I feel like also like patriotism or nationalism plays like
Yeah.
kind of it shows what
Mhm.
countries are like very very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So of like, what do you mean? In what sense do you mean? Like the
like what how some countries turn almost toxic when they lose.
Oh
No.
yeah, like the sport. Like I mean, I feel
Like
like there's a lot of
sportsmanship.
sportsmanship in this level.
Oh, speaking of sportsmanship, some like it was a running event and
Mhm.
oh no, sorry, it was a jumping or running event and some guy from either Qatar or Bahrain,
Yeah.
and he won gold, but the second guy was from Italy, and
Yeah.
it was so close.
They was tied.
It was basically
It was
tied,
tied.
and they're like, oh, we can redo the event, or he's like the guy without them suggesting it. The guy from Qatar is like, oh. Can we just get 2 gold medals? And then the person working there is
How
like,
dare you.
it's possible if you decide to do it. And he's like, yes, let's do it. Literally, the Italian guy was like, like he was
Yeah.
crying. He was so happy. He started hugging the ground because
really? He was
that-
happy.
The Italian guy, he was like, basically, it was his last Olympics before he had to retire. And that he was a lot
Oh.
older.
Yeah.
The other guy was like more up and coming.
Oh,
so
they
he
gave him
really
both.
gave him a legacy. He didn't
That's
give it to him.
insane.
I mean, the Italian guy still competed and did like basically the same
Yeah.
thing. But I think if they redid the race, the Italian guy wasn't so confident. Like
Yeah.
because
Also,
there-
because he needs probably way more time to retire.
Yeah, yeah.
So what sport was this? Do
I
you
think
remember?
I think it was something in track and field. It was
Oh,
running.
it makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's gonna
yeah.
be exhausted.
Yeah.
He can't like do it again.
So he
Yeah.
technically
Definitely
like
can do it again.
lost the Italian guy like by little bit.
Well,
It had to be same time if
I
they
think-
both.
I
No,
think it was
so
very
it was
close.
a tie. I think it was
It was very
almost
close.
tied or something, and
so-
they said it was either like a redo or
Both
like
get
you
something.
both get gold.
Okay.
well, they didn't.
I
They
didn't know
didn't
they could
offer
do
the
that.
both get gold, but like
But the guy from
the guy
Qatar,
So smart.
It's
Yeah.
not only
Such a good move.
It's not
Yeah.
only smart. It shows you like
what kind of
guy
person he is.
he's not toxic at all.
Yeah.
He's willing to share a gold medal, which is basically like for a lot of people, it's like oh that kind of ruins
They're
it.
ego, yeah,
He
there's
didn't
another
really
best.
win, but
Mm.
this guy like he was man.
Share
Both
the
people
wealth,
walk out
man.
happy.
Well, I think he's probably thinking as long as he gets the
Man.
goal, if it was
Yeah.
only one or one of you guys that gets gold, 100% he's not gonna be like, yeah, you could take it, man. That's
Because you
yeah.
talk about both coming in place earlier. I was looking at this fact in in Berlin games in 1936. So
Oh my
there's a- I'm telling you, listen. to this.
Way back.
In,
I was
Japanese
actually thinking that.
Japanese pole vaulchers, I think.
Oh no,
that's
I was not thinking that.
No.
Vultures?
I was
Vultures.
Vultures. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yo.
Is this pigeon shooting?
So so they both tied. There's 2 of them. They both tied in 2nd and 3rd place.
Japanese, both Japanese.
Well, it says both Japanese, so I don't know if they were. I think one of them was. It didn't say who the other one was, but that's from what I was looking at. So what they did is that they're like, either we can redo it, but the guy suggested that can we not redo it? And so what they did is that they split the bronze and the silver medals in half, and they welded them together.
No way.
So they gave
Bro,
each
they
of
were
them
so wild back then.
in 19.
That's
so they
sick,
gave them
though. That's
a
actually-
half.
No.
So they got a half silver, half bronze.
I would probably love that.
wild.
Like, that probably means so much. Like,
Yeah.
who else has a literally half bronze, half silver
This
medal?
is way cooler.
You
dude.
framed
Yeah.
that.
But
and
the thing is-
It's a modded medal.
Yeah, I know.
See, that's very
Literally
weird.
custom made.
But it's
yeah.
actually funny that you mentioned 1936 Olympics because they were the most insane Olympics. Because you know that's the one Hitler hosted.
Well, that's
what I was
true.
thinking, yeah.
That's where I thought you were going with.
Yeah.
Literally, Hitler was off the rails. He used it as propaganda for his party. He would only come and shake the hands of German competitors. So
Really?
he only showed up on the first day when there was a German winner. For the rest of the medal ceremonies, he wasn't there because he would only shake the hands of Germany. Other countries like Ireland boycotted and left. Colombia and Cuba won a game, but then Austria was basically like, nah. So Colombia and Cuba just left.
What do you mean, nah?
Nah.
Like, you don't get your medals.
It was,
won a medal?
it
Nah.
was soccer, and they won 4-2. And there's like, no.
What the hell?
And then,
I love it. I love it. You
How did I
didn't
not know
win.
about this? That's
But
so
the score,
insane.
you
Yeah.
didn't
You have
win.
the German Nazi guy in the back.
Yeah.
no,
We support this.
it was wild. Like, I don't even know how they let this guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
how
like
does
Kim
this-
Jong Un comes out, is like, oh, I got this one, guys. I'll host it, and then he has nukes like around the thing.
He's like,
You
please
better-
try. Win.
It was wild.
Do
Like,
it. I dare you.
They don't leave the start line. They start walking
He's
backwards.
just got like a line of red buttons. He's just like,
That's actually insane. though.
like there's so many controversies because I was looking at this.
Maybe this is why, because I think the only time ever that the Olympics like was canceled was apparently 3 times. One of them was World War One, the
Yeah.
other 2 were World War Two. But it's funny how like
Right before World War II,
so
they
like
still let him
right
host.
before they still let him host.
like
They
He'll
must
be
be like,
okay.
this guy's a bit off, after that.
Oh, hold on,
That's actually still insane.
that's ridiculous.
But still, George is saying, yo, that medal. I'm pretty sure if he ever decides to sell that medal, let's say in the black
it's gonna be worth
money.
or
so
as an
much.
auction,
Money.
so you
That's gonna be so cool.
Half silver,
I would
half
love
gold.
that.
Also, apparently, any person of color or like especially like African
Makes sense.
athletes were just like not given any face.
That's
If
terrible,
they won,
man.
like no one like would shake their hand or like give them like they would give them medals, but like it would be very like clearly disrespectful. But I mean, 1936.
it's the slay, like yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like at the time, it's like it wasn't like racism was very very huge.
yeah, but like,
So, like,
they made
yeah.
it very apparent.
Yeah,
like
then.
it was.
Horrendous.
Yeah, apparently Hitler himself, he decided not to shake hands with American long jump medal winner Jesse Owens, who was African American,
Mhm.
and he just didn't shake his hand.
Nice.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Wow.
Wow,
What a
man.
killer.
So much is like you were saying, like since this year, guys, the first transgender woman
Yeah,
was able to-
Laurel Hubert.
was she
Yeah.
from New Zealand? I think she was from.
She
New
was
Zealand.
from
Yeah.
New Zealand. Yeah,
There was also another in the women's soccer team today in Canada. Her name's Quinn. Becomes the first trans non-binary Olympic medalist
I didn't know about this.
Oh.
Yeah.
On the soccer team?
on the women's soccer team in Canada.
What position?
Interesting. I did not hear anything about that.
I don't know.
I guess because it wasn't as like compared to I think
Because
the,
Laurel
because
was
the way
first.
yeah
Because-
it was
yeah.
like
Because Laura was like the first openly transgender.
Yeah.
at the same
So-
time I fully like I think I respect good for her. She's like she's going out there for what she wants. But
Yeah.
I just
But
I empathize for all the other.
I think
athletes.
it's also like the non-binary aspect. I think it's the trans
Wait,
non-binary.
non-binary. That means not he or she.
Wait,
yeah,
is-
it's them,
oh
they.
they just
Them.
say it's them. They
Yeah,
yeah.
but I didn't hear
Whereas-
anything about that. It's
yeah.
interesting.
But
But,
yeah,
like,
no, on the trans topic.
as them originally was like she was a girl.
Yeah.
Originally, but now she's
Wait,
well it's a
no, no,
them.
They
them.
were a
Wait,
girl.
they were
Wait,
a
who are we
girl.
talking about? Laurel or
The girl for the
Mhm.
soccer
Soccer
team.
Quinn.
Well,
Quinn.
they who is in the soccer team. I'm just confused, but you understand what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
But like I was just saying, like for the whole weightlifting for New Zealand right now, like I feel very bad for everybody else because like you're already kind of like no matter what you do, you're at a disadvantage because like it is like a male body
yeah.
and she's like competing with it. But like good for her, but
It's-
still.
Yeah. She didn't. I don't think she placed it or anything.
Oh, no,
no.
she didn't
But did
play.
you see what happened? Oh, sorry, I interrupted. Did you see what happened at the end?
No.
They asked, I think that the top 3, like, this is the first time we have an openly transgender. How do you feel about this? And 9 seconds, none of them said anything until one of them was just like, no, thank you. Like that like they didn't want to answer the question.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know
That's
that.
insane.
But here's the thing. I think they probably just. Well, I don't know
'cause
what
that's
they
you
meant
can
by this.
understand their frustration.
Yeah, like, I
because,
can
like,
see how
if
they.
this is opening the door for it, just like for later on,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and there's like you're gonna have let's say like well she had the right intentions,
Mhm.
but let's say if somebody doesn't have the right
What
intentions,
if they use it as a gateway basically
Exact-
to win if you can't compete or place as a male?
yeah,
Yeah.
you just like
I mean,
you go compete
it's
in
a
this.
valid concern. I
So-
don't think that's why they would do it. Like
Yeah.
that's very like it's very transphobic to say, but
Yeah.
it's a valid concern. Like I'm not training my whole life to weightlift as a like if I was one of the women that were competing, I'd be frustrated, but I can't say anything from my position.
Yeah. I was looking into it, and you like they do tests to make sure you have like a certain level of
Yeah.
testosterone. because otherwise, if
Yeah.
it's too high,
I see,
your
I see.
muscle can be too big, or like too.
How
You could be
do
too
you know that?
strong.
Oh, for the
they-
level to compete.
For the level to compete, because
okay.
then it would be an unfair advantage.
Because like also put yourself in Laurel's shoes, like well, is she just not allowed to compete in that anymore because
Yeah,
she's like
she has
it's
to.
also
Yeah.
It's such a hard.
it's such a
angry-
complex topic.
Like maybe
Like-
they should make.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they
Make an own
make
category.
Make their
That's
own
what I was
category.
thinking.
But then again, that's
But
like,
that-
like
but then-
segregation in
yeah, it's
sports.
segregation in sports. Exactly.
It's like someone saying like, oh, every I don't know Jordanian person has this special trait. They can't compete with us.
I feel like there should be representatives from each category of each viewpoint, and then they all kind of get together and kind of get that middle.
It's a
And they
tough
really
topic.
need.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
very
tough
tough
topic.
topic.
that
I
they
honestly
need to
have
discuss.
no idea how to even start.
Start this topic.
No.
It's
Yeah.
definitely like
Especially because this is like very new and
Yeah,
like it's only like
newer,
one two
yeah.
people. Like let's say maybe in the future if there's enough transgenders or whatever, then you could maybe have like events because I know we have the Paralympics and stuff
I
like
feel
that.
like it's
Maybe
hard
you can
now
have
because there's not a lot.
yeah, like it's still very
Of,
new.
A lot of transgenders
Yeah.
in the Olympics.
But like it's just like I think it's compared to each year, right? It's more like in culturally, and also I feel like just in general public view, it's more there. So now we'll be seeing this more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
more and more.
yeah,
I feel like as Olympics
it's like
goes on.
we're going through like uncharted territory. Like slowly as as this goes on, we're gonna figure out
How would like
what exactly to
man, I don't even trust the
Olympics committee, the IOC.
committee. Like
No.
they're so corrupt.
Go back corruption everywhere.
Literally,
Back
it's,
to-
it's everywhere, dude.
Like
Yeah.
whatever decisions they make, I can already tell it's not for the trans community. It's
It's
for
for
whatever
money.
benefits them.
whatever
Yeah.
makes them the most money. dude.
Whatever
Yeah.
makes them the most money.
Literally, it's and their
Hopefully-
public image.
Hopefully it
is not
lands
good.
somewhere where also the people are benefiting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I'm hoping
Yeah.
for. Otherwise,
Mm.
like, you never know.
Because
But-
like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, one thing that is good though, which I didn't know until this year, even though
Yeah.
it was a thing last year, how refugees are giving them their own team. In this year, I think
That's-
it's called the
yeah.
That's awesome.
Was
Refugee
2016 I
Olympics.
think the first time
It was, and it was it was under a different name than it is now.
Mhm.
This year, it's Refugee Olympic Team ROT.
Yeah.
But they're giving these people who the refugees, they don't really have a home
Belong
or
to
anything
a
like
place.
that. They're giving the opportunity. For example, there's a Syrian swimmer. I think she lives now in Germany, but
Mhm.
she's with the Refugee Olympic team. You read on her story, man, and she like her house was destroyed in the Syrian civil war, so she fled to Lebanon, then to Turkey, then she arranged for a boat to smuggle her to Greece, and then that boat engine messed up, so she had to tread the water all the way to Greece, and then
Dude, she swam
Mm.
for an insane amount.
and then she went
Insane.
from
Yeah.
Greece. She walked by foot. Well, yeah, but went by foot to Germany, and that's when she's there. And it's like, I feel like you read stuff like that, and it's so it's
Motivating.
inspiring, motivating.
Mhm.
It's like
That is
That's
she
insane.
went through
such a
so much,
hardship
and
that
she's
this
made it,
girl has been through.
and she made it in the
And
Olympics,
she's in the
man.
Olympics
It's
shit.
now.
That's
I know
insane.
this is really bad to make a joke, but on her way to immigrate, she basically did
She became
all
an
half
Olympic
the
swimmer.
Olympic
Yeah.
events.
That's her training. That is so
Like,
true.
That's
Those, like-
such
like
a bad
the-
joke, and I'm sorry. And that's a very powerful story. But she swam. She ran a marathon.
She did a triathlon.
triathlon.
All
She got
the
to
way.
Germany. She was like jacked and
She's
everything.
She was
ready.
already prepared for the
Yeah.
Olympics, dude.
You know what? Kudos to her, man.
Yeah.
No, but that's such
Yeah.
an amazing
17,
story.
right?
Yeah.
No, so she's 23 right now.
Oh,
But she's,
sorry.
she's
Okay,
younger
so-
than me.
okay.
She's 1998, and I look at this and I'm like, that's such a. I feel like every
What a
struggle
life
I've ever
she's
had
lived.
is just
What a life.
I know.
Yeah.
She's-
23.
23
yeah,
and
she's
gone through all
overcome
that.
so much, and
Yeah.
she's in the Olympics. Like literally, I would argue one of the biggest stages of sports in the world, and
And she
Yeah.
got a medal, right?
I don't think she got a medal,
But it was just her presence, I
Yeah.
think, of her story
but,
being there.
the fact that she went from
I hope
literally
she gets a
her
medal
life
later
was
on.
destroyed, and then she made it to the Olympics and the world
She
stage.
rebuilt her
It's-
life literally
yeah.
in the most
Incredible.
grand way.
But it's such a good thing.
It
The
is.
ROT that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
been established
and-
to give
yeah.
those people who don't
Yeah,
have
and it's
that.
it's not just her. There's a bunch of other people, but like it's
Yeah.
such a. I mean, when you're talking about how a lot of countries, the states, they have all these different
Colleges.
psychologists. I wonder what those teams have. I wonder, do they have the resources that those how does that funded? Like, does the
Definitely.
IOC themselves how does that?
Maybe they probably maybe the
Mm.
Olympic Committee funds these
Yeah.
people, because that would make sense. Because
yeah,
I'm like, first of all, where are they refugee?
Mhm.
Like, where
Yeah.
are they?
yeah.
And like, somebody has to pay
Mhm.
for them to
That's-
come
yeah.
and things like. So I think this would get more and more as like time passes by,
Yeah.
I think they also would get more money. And the good thing is because they're not
hope
representing a
not.
country.
I hope nobody has to be a refugee.
Yeah.
But
Well,
knowing,
no.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like in that, like this group,
If there are refugees, yeah,
and
they
because
get-
they're not really associated under a flag,
Mhm.
I feel like it's much easier for them to get international sponsors from anywhere.
Oh,
So like
that's
if there's somebody
true.
who is
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
that sponsors the Olympics can sponsor this group
yeah.
because they're not necessarily under a
I
flag.
feel like if a company were to do that, it would be like Nike.
But the thing
Oh,
is
yeah,
though,
that-
it's
yeah.
like
Nike's very big on stuff like that.
Maybe, but it depends on where your market is as a company.
Mhm.
If you want, you have to advertise athletes that everyone was like, yeah, our athlete. If
Mhm.
you're a refugee, you're no one's athlete.
Just-
As sad as it is, I mean, yes,
But-
sure, but how many Syrians are buying Nikes?
But
That's
I feel like, you know, a lot of immigrants, and also she lives in Germany. I feel like it's an inspiring story to
It
when you
is,
read something
it
like that
is.
to everyone. You don't I feel like
Yeah.
you don't necessarily need to just be Syrian to look at that and you know
Yeah.
want to.
because I feel like a company is going to be attracted to the
Yeah.
story.
That is some of
Yeah.
them too. Like you'd be surprised. Like they come also from countries those countries like they fled the country because the country doesn't support them
Yeah.
in that sense. And
Yeah.
the people also think of them as a betrayal type
A
of sense.
person already
Because
did
I was
that
reading
in the Tokyo one. A Ugandan powerlifter
Okay.
or a weight. Yeah, I think it was a powerlifter. Yeah, and
Olympic
he
weightlifter.
he just left the event. He ran away. He's missing
What?
in Japan now.
What?
He booked a train ticket and just
Why?
ran because he's like, living in Uganda is too hard. I don't want to do this. And apparently, it's not the first
Really?
time. This is the third
Oh.
time that a Ugandan athlete
Just
runs.
dips.
I
They
wonder
make
how
it to
they
the
get
Olympics
out-
only to run.
Yeah,
I wonder
yeah,
how they get
that's
out
crazy.
of like the
Olympic
like,
Village.
yeah, like the Olympic Village.
But I mean, you already have like a valid reason to be in Japan. If anything, Japan probably wants you to go around and like.
no, but the whole thing was you weren't allowed like leaving the village because of
Is it?
COVID.
Oh, this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
This one,
COVID,
100%. But I
Yeah.
think, Kyle, there's ways around it. Like
There's
if you're
definitely ways around
if you're
it.
trying to like run, dude, you'll
Nothing
find a
will
way.
stop
Like
you.
this man
I
will dig a
guess.
hole
But
underneath.
I,
and he's
I
running.
feel like there's got to
If
be
he's-
like next level security, making sure no one's coming in,
Yeah.
like very like secure.
yeah,
Because
I
you got to
think
make
so.
sure these
'Cause protocols
athletes
were
aren't
very-
getting like jumped, attacked, anything. So there's got to be like a certain level of
100%.
security.
This one, they're very, very. I was reading super strict. Where in the sense like if you even go from training to any door, they check your temperature.
Yeah.
The mildest,
Yeah.
mildest COVID symptoms, they were like,
I
no,
think I read
zero
there's
tolerance for it.
about 75 cases of COVID still within the village.
Oh, really?
Is
No
here.
way.
Yeah,
75
Oh,
cases?
75
in-
positive
That's
COVID
insane.
cases.
I didn't
In
know
all
this.
the athletes with the
Yeah.
athletes and
Yeah,
staffs.
yeah.
No, I thought there was like zero.
No,
No.
I read there
No.
were a few,
That
and I
was
remember in the
unfortunate.
beginning,
It's
yeah,
very
there
were-
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Imagine you train all that and then you just get COVID.
and you can't
Yeah.
participate. Oh, my
Some
God.
guy
Unfortunate.
doesn't wear a mask and comes in. Oh, I'd
Yeah.
be pissed, dude.
Oh, that's so. That
It'd be
makes
horrendous.
me mad thinking
But they
about
were all, or I think most. I think I read something. I think like over 80% were vaccinated, like double vaccinated and
it.
everything.
Oh, okay, so okay.
So
They
hopefully
probably
they didn't get
they
too
probably
sick.
have vaccines there.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine
assume
they
for
have
some
so
of the
much stuff
countries
there.
too
Yeah.
that they don't have like the vaccines. And when they got there, they gave them the option like,
Mm.
oh, because you're being here for a while. But
I think
Here's the
they had
thing.
to give away before.
I
not
feel
when
like they
you
had to.
get
Yeah,
because
now
I
that I'm
think if you
thinking,
get like a
you
little
can
sick or something.
yeah, you're not competing
Yeah.
unless you're on the last day.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Like, you have to be, I think, fully vaccinated before you even like go into the country.
Probably. Like I have no idea.
So
Like,
if you placed on Olympic team and you knew you were going, they
Yeah.
made sure you're vaccinated. That's
Yeah.
100% how it works.
but some of the countries aren't vaccinated. They don't have any vaccines.
But they'll provide. It's an
the
international
thing.
Olympic
Yeah,
committee.
I feel like
they
it's
probably would
because
provide it.
think about it, the vaccine first dose, then you have to wait a minimum of 3 weeks, then take the second dose, and then it acts like
Yeah.
that's so much time that you'd waste
I was like,
being vulnerable to COVID
Yeah.
and also like allowing the spread. They don't want that in the village, and they
No.
already got 80. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning there was a lot of people talking about, okay, you know, cases are going up, you know, what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I mean, it still happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
damn.
But yeah, I do think there's a lot of like international
For-
stuff. For example, when you get the refugee people, they would probably get vaccinated, you know,
Yeah.
through stuff like
Unless,
that.
hopefully.
Because like
Very-
the Syrian girl, she was in Germany. Like they probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
vaccinated there.
Yeah. Very true.
Very inspiring, the ROT.
Okay.
And you get the ROC, the Russian Olympic Committee.
The
Dude.
polar opposite.
Yeah.
It's
RO
like-
It's like we're not Russia, we're the Russian Olympic
We're-
Committee.
yeah.
Totally different
Have you
things.
seen that thing? It's like, have you seen that Scooby Doo meme? It's like a ghost,
Yeah.
and he pulls it off, and it's
Yeah.
under there.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing was, one of the things when they got banned, because this was the ski, what was it? It was the 2015. I think the whole thing it happened. It's been going on from 2011 to 2015, but 2015 they caught them.
That's when
Yeah.
they actually.
It's like actually like yo, they start breaking down on them, but it's when you think about it, it is insane. Like the whole committee is like Russia's anti-dopamine community was literally like paying people to like hide this in like the actual, and then only after a while did the Olympic anti-dopamine community be like, okay, like there's some sketchy things like going on like right here, like clearly. And it was very apparent because like some things are very obvious when people are doping. As a guy like literally was like showing like previous
it's not
things.
only doping, it was also steroids.
Well, that too.
Steroids.
The dude literally like broke something. He's just fine. You're like, under no circumstance can you be in this
I heard about that.
physical
His
state and be
recovery
fine.
time was way too short.
Way
Yeah.
too short. Like 100% has to be. And like, man, Russia is just like, when you think about it, it's like out of the 300 and like whatever athletes it was at the time, 111. That is 1/3.
That's probably who they
That's
caught
insane.
too.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
probably way more, to be
There's
honest. Like,
probably some.
if one athlete's doing it, sorry, not one. If half, why not the other half? Right?
Well, maybe some of them have some morals.
But it's like,
But I do get what
I
you're
feel
saying.
like the government was forcing almost. Do you think they decided for themselves? Like, do you think every athlete was dirty from Russia?
I think that not every
Maybe not
athlete, but I
every,
think
yeah.
they just had no like, oh, if I can get a little bit of an edge and get a medal,
I feel like,
Yeah.
it's
And I'm
like,
not getting
if I
caught.
don't do it,
Yeah.
the next guy in line that's worse than me is going to do
Yeah.
it and pass.
and
me.
my country is fine with it,
Maybe.
and my country is
Yeah.
supporting me.
I feel like a lot of people just give into the pressure. They're
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm representing my country. I better just do really
Man,
well.
Yeah, just to win.
I'm talking all that smack right now. If
Yeah.
I was in their position, I don't even know what I'd do.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know,
the
like,
thing.
yeah.
It's hard
Yeah,
from the
it's-
outside,
it's
but when
like-
you're there, and if you know, it might give you an edge to
An
win.
edge.
And you know, people won't
Yeah.
really know. Like, people in Russia, they're not really gonna know you're.
And people have been getting away with it
Yeah.
for years
yeah,
and years
for
and
years,
years.
like so
Okay,
long.
so
that
you
they-
probably gonna catch
I'm not
me.
gonna be caught, niggas.
Yeah.
One of the things that they put under it is after they got banned for 4 years, they're like, you can't represent your flag, like you can't play under the Russian flag. Have you seen the ROC logo?
No.
No.
It's a circle with a Russian flag in the middle. So I'm just like, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, oh, I guess
Smart.
What?
very good.
Does Russia acknowledge that? Like, when these people win, are they celebrated in Russia, or like it's stuff like that?
It's like
So
They're
it's
like,
this-
we got them
basically,
again.
it's just like a slap to the wrist.
That's
That's
what
what
I'm telling
happened.
you. It's a Scooby Doo thing. It's
Yeah.
literally the
And
Russian team.
how is everyone like, this is totally fine? Like,
Well,
it's such a
that's-
corrupt.
I
So
was
much
just
corruption
thinking about
there,
this.
man.
I'm like, you get corrupted, but you can't represent your country, but you can make an organization that is for your country.
Yeah.
You're just like, huh? Like, how are you
Yeah.
still playing?
It's because Russia's too big. If you get a small
Yeah.
country, like if Lebanon did that,
Yeah.
they'd
They'd
be
erase
kicked
it.
out.
oh,
Yeah.
they're like, you can't
Yeah.
even compete for the
Yeah.
next like 50 years.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
it's Russia, it's Russia. They're gonna be like, yo.
Funny thing, they appealed and it went from 4 years to 2 years. So now they're fully allowed to go in 2022 as the Russian
Russia's
flag.
Steroid time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then just
Some big boys.
it's we go all the way back and like we talk about it. This Olympics at the end of the day, I think it's too political now and too much money is in there.
Yeah.
It's not really more about that whole
We need to bring it back to just gladiator battles and pistol
yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
and then we go
The
from
the
there.
good old
A
days.
simpler life.
Maybe
simpler life.
viewership
Yeah.
will go up then.
You know,
Who knows?
It might.
Yeah.
For a fact to finish today's thing, today's episode. So you guys know about the Olympic torch,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So do you know what the kind of thing for the Olympic torch is the
Never
history
goes
of
out.
how it's so it's never supposed to go out from the beginning to the end. So the fire for it has to have started from Olympia in Greece. So what happens every year around a year before it's a year to a few more months even, it's like 18 months before the Olympic event, they have to lit the torch in Olympia, Greece. And then they give it to an athlete and the athlete has to run. Or, well, if it's accessible through land, so let's say it's in Paris, you just run from Greece.
Like,
all the
actually
way-
run.
Yeah, it's
Like,
actually run.
Actually run.
If he has to go, let's say North America, he runs as much as he can, and then he takes a boat over.
Mhm.
Or one who was like, literally they take
That's
the torch
insane.
in a plane.
What?
I was reading, it was in a plane. I'm like,
What?
is this not a
What's the quality
He's in
control
the
on
not a
this?
fire hazard?
How do you know
The
someone's
guy
just
was
not
just, like,
like,
holding the
all right,
torch,
we'll
yeah.
take it out. We'll just like torch it for
You
now.
know,
and
air it
then-
a little in the window.
Yeah, and then when we land, relight it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
So, so the torch has to literally go from Olympia all the way to wherever it's being hosted. It has to go there.
That's so cool.
Now,
I didn't know that.
It's
If
insane.
the fire runs out,
Yeah, you gotta
you're
start over.
not allowed. You're not allowed to use a regular torch. You can't come up with a lighter and be like, "Hey, yo, let's."
Yeah.
Nobody saw this,
Yeah.
so let's do this. You have to go all the way back from Olympia
You gotta
and
run
redo
back
it.
and run.
Do it.
So it happened
an L.
once. and the dude
Really?
ran all the way.
No, stop.
Where was the
It
Olympics?
was I didn't see it. It was saying it happened once. It didn't. So the fact
Oh
was like
my
it
God.
happened once. Where
Imagine running
as he was about to go, yo, imagine he's like,
I would just throw it on
Dude,
the ground.
imagine like
just rough.
you're going into the stadium. Some dude just opens the door a little bit too hard and he yaks you in the face, and the fire falls, and the fire goes out. You're
I would
like,
strangle that
Like,
guy.
do you know what you have done?
I have to run another 3,000 kilometers that you just owe me.
Like, I have to run on water. Why did you do this?
But the torch has been a lot of places. It's actually even been to space.
cool.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because the
I think
Olympic
I
Committee
have
paid for
heard
it. Yeah,
about
they just
that.
sent it to
Sick.
space. Dude, this torch
That's a
is
cool
lit-
tradition.
living.
Yeah, that's a really cool
Yeah.
tradition.
Hopefully
Yeah.
that does not
But
go
they
away.
turns off. They turn it off after the Olympics is done, and then after
Yeah.
a few months, they lit it up again in Olympia, and they start the thing again.
Start the thing again.
So
Pretty cool.
That's
actually.
so cool.
that's
Yeah.
the Olympic
that.
torch
Nice little
That's
fact.
a
tradition
little
that they've had.
Fun fact to root.
Yeah. Well, this was a good episode, gentlemen.
Yeah.
was.
So
I have never learned so much about the Olympics.
Yeah, I know.
It's been great.
It was cool.
Yeah.
make sure to like
Comment.
Subscribe.
Comment and subscribe.
for sure, and we'll see
Yeah.
you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace out.